Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are LA.
Last night, the Angels pitching came through with another great performance, but it was the offense which finally exploded for a comeback victory. The bats are heating up, and tonight the Halos look to close out the homestand with a stretch of wins. Rockies and Angels coming up next.
So far, so good on the homestand tonight. It's Mike Trout hat giveaway night. We showcased them last night, and yeah, people are still coming to show up and getting their free hats here tonight.
No, these are awesome hats.
They are awesome hats. We wrap up this two-game set with the Colorado Rockies tonight. Hi, everybody from inside the Big A. We welcome you back to Angels Baseball here on Fox Sports West, along with Mark Cusa. I'm Victor Rojas, and last night the heroics once again, and the guy at the center of it, as he has been really for the first 6 weeks of the season, Johnny Giavitelli getting the job done for the Angels.
Yeah, Victor, Johnny G's been doing an unbelievable job. Take a look at our AT&T U-verse rewind, what he's been able to do in the most important times for the Angels, using the entire field. Back on May 6th against Seattle, came through with that game-winning double down the right field line, scoring Eric Ibar, but he didn't stop there. He continued last night being able to square the baseball up. That's the thing about Johnny. Johnny's been good, but Johnny's been great in these spots too, going the other way, squaring up the baseball. Hey, when you try to go upstairs against Johnny Giavitelli, he will put the ball in play, put the ball play hard. Late in the game, though, 10 for 18 for Giavitelli in those most important parts when the game is close. He's been coming through, batting average over 500 in that spot. Johnny, the entertainer, what they're calling him in the dugout, he's been fantastic.
Yeah, sixth game-winning RBI for the Angels. That's been huge, especially considering the Angels' offense continues to struggle. They struggle a little bit against Kyle Kendrick. Tonight it'll be Jordan Lyles going for the Rockies, while Hector Santiago will toe the slab for Mike Socias. We're just about ready for baseball here at the Big A. Sit back and relax. We're going to bring you the lineups and the first pitch when we return. Angels Baseball is brought to you by CarMax. Start the search for your next car at CarMax. Start here. And by Jack in the Box. Jack's hottest sandwich is back. Head to Jack in the Box for Jack's Blazing Chicken Sandwich.
2015 Jeep Cherokee with an EPA estimate 31 highway miles per gallon. Visit Jeep.com for more information. And by AT&T Uverse. More live TV channels on the go than cable. As always, a beautiful night for baseball here in Southern California. The Angels picking up the victory in Game 1 of this two-game set against the Rockies last night, 5-2, a 3-run bottom of the 8th inning. And a big 2 RBI double by Matt Joyce capped the scoring to give the Angels a little bit of cushion as Hector Santiago's taken the mound. And we will check out the Colorado Rockies starting lineup as presented by their bench coach, Tom Runnels. Walt Weiss, dealing with some stomach discomfort, was taken to a hospital earlier today. So Tom Runnels taking over the lineup card. And it's Dickerson leading things off in left field. Tulowitzki at shortstop. Arenado at third base. Gonzalez, the cleanup hitter, in right. Willeen Rosario is the DH once again. Justin Morneau drops down one spot. He's at first. Drew Stubbs gets a start tonight in center field. Nick Hundley, he of the 13-game hitting streak, is batting 8th and doing the catching. And DJ LeMahieu batting 9th and playing second base. Taking out Hector Santiago, rolls into this one with a 2-2 record and a 2.57 ERA.
Yeah, Hector's been throwing the ball well. At times, though, maybe a few pitches out of the strike zone, effectively wild, but very good ERA. 2.57 for Hector. As we take a look at his percentages of pitches he throws during the course of a game, his pitch arsenal, 69% being fastball. That includes a two-seamer and a cut fastball. Changeups are very good. A swing and miss changeup, slider, and curveball, too, for Hector.
Defensively for the Angels, behind Hector Santiago tonight, Matt Joyce at left, Mike Trout at center, Cole Calhoun at right. The infield has David Freese and Eric Ibar on the left side, Johnny Giavatello and Albert Pujols on the right side, Carlos Perez once again behind the plate.
And we got to go with Cole Calhoun out in right field. He's made some unbelievable plays of late. One up there in San Francisco. Going back to that game, diving May 1st in AT&T Ballpark. Diving face first, outstanding grab. And then last night, the dive, even better, went on the dive and catch that ball when it's the heel of his glove. He's been outstanding this season, and same thing last season, one of the better throwing arms in right field also for Cole Calhoun.
First one tonight, up and in on Corey Dickerson, the left fielder. Hitting .313 with 5 home runs and 16 runs batted in. Dickerson was in the 7th spot in the order last night. Ended up getting 2 knocks, 2 for 3 with a double. And Santiago falls behind at 2 balls and no strikes. The Rockies have lost 10 straight. Find themselves in the cellar of the National League West. Dickerson looks at a strike, 2-1 now. Out on the road, they are 7-9. The Angels, on the other hand, with their win last night, finally evened up their home record at 9-9. A home schedule that started 0-3, getting swept by the Kansas City Royals. 2-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss, 2-2.
He's made a couple pitches on the inner half against Dickerson. That's a dangerous spot for Hector. And Hector's very, very effective ahead of the count. A little different when he's behind in the count. Started out 2-0 and 2-1 now 2-2. Has a chance to throw a breaking ball to finish off Dickerson now.
Tied him up, fouled back. Count remains at 2-2.
We see he's shaking his head too, Santiago.
There's Tom Runnels, the bench coach, taking over for Walt Weiss tonight. We hope everything is all right with Walt. Swing and a miss. Down goes Dickerson, and there's out number 1.
Yeah, Walt Weiss was a very good player. Rookie of the year in the American League. Strong hitter. Very solid defender at shortstop.
Tom Runnels been around a long time. Managed Les Expos de Montreal.
Can you say that again?
No, that's it.
Please?
I'm spent. That was back in 91, 92. A lot of years in the minor leagues managing as well as Troy Tulowitzki. Takes a strike on the inside part of the plate. Tulowitzki at .298 average, a couple of home runs, 11 runs batted in. 0 for 3 last night. Did have a sac fly. Cuts through the fastball. And it is 0-2.
He seems to be the one hitter you can go up the ladder with the fastball because he's aggressive swinging at that. Now, if you bring that down just a little bit, that's the baseball he squares up. But if you go above the letters, you can get a swing and miss from him.
Last couple of days, rumors or whatever, hearsay, however you want to call it or categorize it, about Troy Tulowitzki maybe getting to the point where he's going to ask for a trade. To me, it's like, how does that stuff get out? That he's getting to a point where he may ask for a trade. Seriously.
Yeah, I mean,
either you ask for a trade or you don't.
And the team is struggling. You mentioned
Right.
10 in a row. Last couple of seasons has been tough, but he hasn't been healthy enough either.
And he goes down swinging, so back-to-back strikeouts for Santiago.
When Tulowitzki's in that lineup and healthy, he is one of the best players in all of baseball. It's certainly the best shortstop in baseball.
Yeah, and you wonder how much of a distraction that is, to, not only to him, but also to the organization. Obviously, they're not ready to fold the tent and call it a season. Now 30 games into their 2015 campaign. But like you said, his numbers are okay, but the injuries have been an issue for him. Same with Carlos Gonzalez, who's got a nice couple of years left on his contract. Tulowitzki's got some money left on that deal as well.
He's got 5 more years guaranteed after this year.
Arenado, the third baseman, with a 1-0 count. He hits one down the line. That's a fair ball, just over the bag. Arenado on his way to second, and it's a 2-out hit. A double for Arenado. That's his 11th of the season.
Right down the line. It looked like it went right over the base. Pitch away. Oh, he was even pulling off that baseball. Calling that one fair, right over the base. Albert Pujols thought maybe it was foul, but he pulled off that pitch. His head pulled off, his eyes, yet he still had enough for the back control to be able to hit that ball right down the first base line.
So Carlos Gonzalez will bat with a man in scoring position and 2 outs. Hitting just 188 this year. A couple of home runs, 6 runs batted in. Went 0 for 4 last night with a couple of strikeouts, and he'll take down an in. Ibar trying to keep Arenado close to the bag, and Gonzalez will look at a strike. Angels with their victory last night, now 4 back in the American League West. Houston lost to the Giants. Houston tonight trailing the Giants 3-2. The top of the 6th inning at Minute Maid Park. Seattle won last night. Texas ended up losing. They're leading Kansas City tonight, however, 5-2 in the 8th. 1-1.
Well, Zunino hit a couple mammoth home runs.
Yeah, 6 home runs last night?
Yeah, for Seattle.
Seattle.
In that ballpark.
Yeah. Mariners hosting the Padres. 2 outs and a 2-out double for Arenado. No score here in the first. And that is ripped to right field. Cole Calhoun moving over is there, makes the catch. And that 2-out double stranded in scoring position. We'll head to the bottom of the first. The Angels will have Calhoun, shot of Pujols coming up. night, very similar to what we've seen here of late. Cole Calhoun in right field, Trout at center. Pujols at first base after DHing last night. David Freese at third. Eric Ibar and Johnny Giavotella have been kind of joined together in the lineup here of late. Matt Joyce mentioned the 3 RBIs last night. He's back at left. Carlos Perez behind the plate. And Mark Krause made his Angels debut last night, went 0 for 3. He will serve as the DH tonight, taking on the 24-year-old right-hander native of Hartsville, South Carolina. His name is Jordan Lyles.
Lyles' fastball is 90-94, slider, cut fastball, curveball, an occasional changeup. 4.42 ERA to be successful against Lyles, though. Look for patterns. He will go into those fastball patterns where you try to drive the ball and up, and away. He will make some mistakes up and away, so that's when you got to drive that ball to right center field.
Cole swinging first pitch. It's a 2-hopper to second. LeMahieu feeds Morneau, and there's out number 1. Defensively for the Rockies tonight, Dickerson, Stubbs, and Gonzalez in the outfield. The infield has Arenado, Tulowitzki, LeMahieu, and Morneau from third to first, and Huntley behind the dish.
LeMahieu has really made himself a very solid defender at second base. Won the Gold Glove last season. It really has improved. More so when he first came up, known for his bat, but very solid in the field. Turned 30 double plays already this season. LeMahieu very, very good for the Colorado Rockies. Very solid defensive infield for Colorado.
Mike Trout will look at a strike, hitting .299. Nine home runs, 19 runs batted in. Played 3 infielders on the left side with Trout at the plate. Mike Trout hat giveaway night. He went 0 for 3 last night. Was also hit by a pitch. 2 balls, 1 strike. It's like a piece of artwork.
It is. Oh, pretty good pitch right there. The drive. That is Trout's zone. Came with a fastball. Middle down. It's the hat. The Mike Trout hat.
Foul back. 95-mile-per-hour fastball. A little cut action to it looked like.
Yeah, he will throw a 4-seam and then cut action on his fastball. Two and 1 in his career versus the Angels with an ERA over 5, though.
That is lined to short. Tulowitzki has it. Ball. A little snow cone in the glove there. 2 outs.
Hyundai key for this game tonight. Led Zeppelin bring it on home. When you get an opportunity with anyone on base, especially with men in scoring position, that's when you use the middle of the field and bring home those runs. Seen a lot of good swings late in games, looking for some better swings early in the game to provide some early support for Hector Santiago.
So Albert will bat with 2 outs and the base is clear. Well, that fouled right back into Hundley for strike 1.
That's a firm fastball and fouled straight back. Up around that shoulder too, and throwing shoulder.
Albert snapped an 0 for 13 last night with the 8th inning single that led off the rally. And he stole a base.
Easily.
99th. Well, yeah. Betancourt fell asleep, but it was a stolen base nonetheless. His 99th of his career. He said last night after the game that maybe he'll get to 100 and then just shut it down at that point. 1 ball with strike.
And hopefully he won't attempt that then for a while.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if he meant shut it down, like take it on home, or just not steal anymore. Or save it for those special moments. I don't know.
The right time.
1 and 2.
Just in case Mike Scioscia thinks about pinch running for him late in the game.
He'll wave him off?
Yeah, I said, look at, hey, I just stole a base. 1 for 1 this year. Been caught once. Got 1 stolen base.
Couldn't hurt considering the Angels' percentage is not very good in the stolen base category. Let's take a look at the The great jump that Albert had.
Great jump. You think?
Oh, man. Corey Hunter would be very proud of that jump.
He read the pitcher well.
Yes, he did. Fouled back again. Still the 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Betancourt still was holding on to the baseball, and he had like 5 steps almost at that point. Concentrating on the hitter. That's what it was.
That's the worst feeling, though, because, and I'm sure you've been there, you're locked in. You got a guy at first base that you know it's not really going to run. But then all of a sudden you hear, step off. And you're like, I don't want to balk.
Yeah.
This one back up the middle. Hits Lyles on the hand. Bounces to LeMahieu. And Albert is thrown out. Now the question is, how's Jordan Lyles?
That got him pretty good. He's trying to walk it off. Hopefully he's okay. And you can see it right in his hand, it looked like. Right back up the middle. No time to react. Right on his pitching hand.
And try to show you the hand. He's no longer going to be in this game. He's got a huge welt on the top of that right hand, that pitching hand of his. He's already taken. There it is right there. That's just moments after getting hit. So there's there's action in the pen already for the Rockies, as Lyles will not be returning to this ballgame.
Yeah, he was trying to walk it off. You see, he reacted right away. He saw it, looked at his hand, and he saw it was swelling up right after the line drive. Back up the middle, took his jacket, walking up to the clubhouse.
I'm sure.
Hopefully it's okay, because that got him square on his pitching hand.
And he knew it the minute he came off the field. He was looking at it. And I'm sure they'll take the precautionary X-rays. But Christian Bergman is getting ready. He will take over in the second. Rosario, Morneau, and Stubbs here in the second for the Rocks. This one out toward right center field. Trout was shading Rosario that way, and there's the first out. Let's go back and see Albert lining that baseball back up the middle, and you see that Lyles, one of those guys that falls off towards first base.
And when you release the baseball, you're about 50 feet away, and then just try to react to put your hand there just to be able to protect your body. That was in no way was he trying to knock that down with his pitching hand. He was just trying to avoid it, protect his body, moving his hand up, and that got him square on the top of his pitching hand. And he looks right away, he looks at his hand. He knew that got him squared. Been there before when you've been hit by a line drive. You really don't have time to react on a lot of them. It is no fun.
0-1 count on Morneau, the first baseman. Morneau hitting .292 with 3 home runs and 9 RBIs. A couple of hits yesterday, going 2 for 4 with the double. Single. Lifts this one out to center. Not very deep. 2 outs. All right, tonight's broadcast is being broadcast on AFM, the American Forces Network, broadcasting to the U.S. Armed Forces serving around the world on land and on ships at sea. We thank you for your continued service, and we welcome you to tonight's broadcast.
Yeah, thank you so much. Well, you hate to see anybody get hit with a line drive, and Pujols hit that ball square. Lyles has done a nice job pitching this year for the Rockies.
Drew Stubbs takes ball 1. 17 games for the speedy center fielder. 0.94 average, 2 home runs, 4 runs batted in. The old 2 out, 2-0 count for Hector Santiago. Those are the issues that he has had. The 2 out hits, walks. And if he can manage that, you talk about just the pitches, extra pitches he's had to throw because of those things. And that would have been ball 3, but a swing and a miss there. He can tighten that up. All of a sudden, we're talking about a 7th, 8th inning guy, maybe even potential complete game.
And that's what he wants, the trust from Mike Scioscia. But when you're a manager and you see a pitcher goes to those spots every time where you get 2 quick outs and then it's 2-0, then you give up a base hit, and then you have stress, forces you to throw an extra 8 to 10 pitches. It forces Mike Scioscia and Mike Butcher to go down to the bullpen a little bit earlier than they would like to do.
And he strikes out Stubbs in a 1-2-3 inning for the lefty. We'll head to the second with no score.
Ball is brought to you by your Southern California Toyota dealers.
The bottom of the second inning, David Freese, Eric Ibar, Johnny Giavotella due up here in the second for the Angels with no score. And there's a new pitcher on the mound. It's our in and out, who's in, who's out. Jordan Lyles lasted 1 inning, got hit by that line drive, and he gives way to Christian Bergman, product of UCI. Pitching in his 9th game, has 1 start, 1-0 record, and a 3.26 ERA.
Yeah, fastballs 87-91. Slider, curveball, changeup. There's a lot of changeups. 31% of his pitches so far this year have been changeups. Righties hitting 349 against him. Lefties 250. That tells you his best pitch is his changeup.
At a St. Francis High School, then I mentioned UCI, 24th round pick in 2010 by the Rockies. He will take over here. He'll face David Freese. First pitch, swinging a bouncer back to the mound. How about that? Back to back.
That always happens that way, I'm telling you.
Hey, folks, celebrate the grad in your life. Angels grad packs include 4 tickets to select home games and an Angels graduation tassel for just $100. Purchase a grad pack today at angels.com/gradpacks. 1 pitch, 1 out for Bergman. And here's Eric Ibar. Bergman, by the way, now 27 years of age, just turned 27 back on May the 4th. Eric with a little 4-game hitting streak. 246. 3 doubles, 11 RBIs. Run up the first base line, that'll roll foul.
Trying to drag that one right down the first baseline. Most times we've seen Eric trying to push the ball down the third baseline. It's a wise decision to stay away from Arenado at third base. Bringing that baseball with him. His foot is still in the batter's box. This rolls foul. I don't see that too often where the ball will roll foul here at the Big A.
One in there for a strike. 1-2. Bergman did pitch in 10 games last year at the major league level. 10 starts. Went 3-5 with a 5.93 ERA. First taste of big league life. And that is ripped down the line and it's foul. So we'll reset and do it again at 1 ball, 2 strikes. Popped up to shallow left. Dickerson was playing shallow. He'll put it away for the second out.
Coming up late in the game, we'll check out the news. Big news from around the majors on the Carl's Jr. Sports Update. Big game for Boston for a pitcher up in Boston against the Oakland A's. And the Cardinals trying to do something against the Tribe they have never done before.
Interesting.
Yes.
So
many different avenues you're thinking of.
Oh. Mind blown. Johnny Giavotella takes downstairs. 283 average with a home run, 13 runs batted in. 2 for 4 last night with that game-winning RBI in the 8th inning.
Number 6 batters in the lineup against Bergman this year. 6 for 7 with a home run and 5 RBI in a spot in the order against him.
This one pulled toward short. Looked like Tulowitzki played that on a 1 hop, a short hop I should say, and he throws out. Giavotella, the Angels go down in order, 6 up, 6 down for the Halos. We'll head to the 3rd, scoreless. 28 pitches thrown by Hector Santiago. 18 have been strikes. 3 punch outs. 1 hit allowed. That was a 2-out double by Arenado off the end of the bat, just over the first base bag. Nick Hundley, the catcher, proud owner of a 13-game hitting streak, steps in. .342 batting average with a couple of home runs and 9 runs batted in. He will look at a strike. Phil Cuzzy, by the way, calling the balls and strikes tonight. Tony Randazzo at first. Brian Gorman, the crew chief, at second. And Jerry Davis-Eyes over at third base.
Like it.
Two balls and 1 strike.
One thing about Hector, he does not waste any time. That's a great location right there for his little slider.
Huntley signed with the Rockies in the offseason. Finished up last year with Baltimore. After being traded from the Padres, as he fouls this one back. Two. Missed it. Full count. Yes, he did. They can throw down to first and complete the strikeout.
Now it's time for the T-Mobile Game Changer. Socials Club 16-17 this season. Started the exact same record last year at 16-17. Then went on to go 82-47 on the way to a 98-win season, which was best in the majors. Different so last year's club really got hot offensively. Now it's up to this team right now, pitching well, need to get that offense going more consistently.
DJ LeMahieu, the second baseman, off to a hot start. 40 average. He got .398 on base percentage. He's been a guy that's been clutch for the Rockies with better scoring position, even .500 batting average. He's 11 for 22. Not a bad 9th place hitter in interleague play. Originally in the Cubs system.
Really turned into a very good all-around player.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Called strike 3 on the inside part of the play. 2 down. 5th strikeout for Santiago. 3rd consecutive.
That's a pretty good sequence of pitches for Hector. Come right back inside with a fastball, 4-seam fastball, paints the inside corner. 4 of the 5 pitches on the inner half, 1 pitch away, stayed inside against LeMahieu to get a call, 3rd strike.
Top of the order now, Corey Dickerson, a strikeout victim himself.
Good under-controlled slider from Hector Santiago there. First pitch after getting 2 quick outs, get ahead of the count.
Foul back.
See them trying to slow Hector down. Hector doesn't like to waste time at all.
Upstairs.
Certainly an advantage first time through, now the second time through this Rocky lineup against Hector Santiago. Really slowed down his delivery on his curveball. Shaking his head. A lot of times when he does that, he'll come right back with the very same pitch to see if he can get his mechanics right. It was the right pitch to throw. He just didn't get that arm in the right slot.
2-2 now. Trying to complete a 1-2-3 inning. This one fouled off to the left. Hector with 2 strikeouts in the first, 1 in the second, 2 in the third. Down it is. Full count with Troy Tulowitzki on deck. Scoreless here in the third. 47 pitches thrown by Santiago. 29 have been strikes. Here's the payoff. Dickerson lines one out toward left field. That will get down for a hit. So kind of a 2-strike approach for Dickerson, whom we've seen him let the bat fly early on in the count, just trying to put the ball in play there.
Yeah, he did a nice job. This is a pretty good pitch too from Hector. Was down middle part of the plate and is trying to serve that ball in to left field. He's trying to make contact. Twice now the Rockies have gotten 2-out hits against Hector Santiago.
Short lead for Dickerson at first. And it's 2 balls, no strikes. Tulowitzki, a strikeout victim himself in the first.
These are the spots where Hector has to clean it up. 50 pitches thrown, 30 strikes, 2 quick outs, got ahead of the count. And Dickerson got back in the count and got a base hit in the left.
And now a 3-0. Arenado on deck.
Mike Scioscia letting Perez know that Tulowitzki will be swinging here 3-0. So don't just groove a fastball middle of the plate.
There's Arenado. Picked up a double in the first inning. .24 pitches here in this third inning for Hector. Went 6 1/3 in his last start. Took a no decision against Houston. 5 strikeouts, 4 walks in that one. 3-1. Swing and a miss. Took something off. Full count.
A little slider. Has been throwing his cut fastball also in on right-handed batters. So if you can remember what C.J. Wilson did against Tulowitzki, he threw that hard slider down and in against him yesterday. It's very effective against him. Very good game yesterday by C.J. Wilson. 8 innings.
Dickerson takes off. Tulowitzki fouls it off to the right. Picked up his second win. 111 pitches in those 8 innings.
Most impressive thing is 2 walks in his last 3 starts. He covers 22 innings for Wilson.
Another 3-2. This is popped up and playable. Eric Guybar in shallow left underneath it. We'll head to the bottom of the third. Joyce, Perez, and Krause coming up for the Angels, who are looking for their first base runner. Still scoreless. Largest soccer club. Go to ayso.org/play to find your region and sign up for your fall team today. Scoreless as we start the bottom of the third inning. Hector Santiago with 5 strikeouts. 2 hits allowed. The Angels still looking for that first base runner. Jordan Lyles started the game for Colorado. And a liner back up the middle that went off his right hand knocked him out of the game. It turned out to be a put out for the third out. Pujols was thrown out 1-4-3, but Lyles departed. Bergman took over, and he had himself a 1-2-3 second inning. Threw a total of 9 pitches in that second. 1 ball, 1 strike on Matt Joyce.
Remember Bergman back in his day at St. Francis, playing the Mission League high school baseball, San Fernando Valley area. That being in Pasadena, St. Francis, but in the league.
1-2. Nothing fancy, very compact motion.
Yes. Repeatable mechanics.
Joyce last night, a 3 RBI night, went 1 for 4. Double with 2 runs batted in the 8th inning. Had an RBI ground out earlier in the game. Brought in the Angels' first run. This one's popped up on the left side. Arenado calls for it, makes the catch. 1 out. Brings up the catcher, Carlos Perez. 6 for 18 to start his big league career. 1 double, 1 home run, 4 runs batted in. Picked up his 4th RBI last night with a single in the 4th. They tied the game up at 2. And he will look at a strike. Socha was asked about Carlos prior to the game today and the playing time that he's been getting. And Mike simply just stated that right now Carlos doing everything that the Angels need him to do. That means he's receiving the ball well, calling good games, swinging the bat well.
He's throwing the ball extremely well, too, behind the plate.
So that he will get the playing time. Still believes that Chris Iannetta is an integral part of this ball club, but right now it's Carlos getting the bulk of the playing duties. Downstairs, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. There's Chris. And look, it happens. You know, at every position, in every team, there's always a younger player that comes in and does something. This was lifted out to right, especially in a position that the Angels, with Mike Scioscia, covet as a defense-first position, and that's what Carlos is known for. The offensive side of things, obviously, that's a plus, and it's icing on the cake.
Yeah, I mean, he's been doing a nice job as far as his level swing, but he's handled his staff very well in the games he's caught, framing pitches well, slowing down the opponent's running game. That's got to be tough for Chris. He played with the Rockies, has a lot of friends on the other side, but at this point, especially because you haven't played as well as you want to as a team, you have to go with the hot hand, both behind the plate and with the bat.
Krause serving as a DH tonight. Got the start at first base last night. Called up before the game. Ryan Matthews was designated for assignment. He got claimed today. Cincinnati, I think.
Yeah, I think it was Cincinnati.
0-2 pitch. That's a called strike 3. How about this? Christian Bergman's coming in from 21 pitches, 16 for strikes. Retired all 6 he's faced. We're still scoreless. Ballpark. Hey, folks, May 25th, Halos will take on the San Diego Padres at 6:05. Join us at the Big A for a spectacular Memorial Day postgame fireworks show presented by Sungevity. Purchase your tickets today visiting the Angels Stadium ticket office or online at angels.com.
More fireworks.
More.
Nice.
3, 4, and 5 for the Rockies here in the 4th inning. Arenado, Gonzalez, and Rosario. Arenado 1 for 1 with a double. Tried to hold up on the off speed. No balls, 2 strikes. 5 punch outs, no walks, 2 hits for Hector Santiago so far.
That up and in 0-2 pitch. And generally a hitter will start looking away against you.
He was on that fastball, tried to come back inside with the fastball.
Yeah, if you go up and in on 0-2, you better have that ability to go back inside. That time for a strike, but that was out over the plate. And Arenado had a great swing at it.
And he strikes him out. Stayed away from him that time. 1 away.
Change up. After back-to-back fastballs, this one off the plate, pulled off on the pitch. Very similar to the swing he had his first at bat when he was fooled on a changeup. At that time, made contact and hit it down the first base line. This time, couldn't make contact.
Gonzalez takes strike one. Fly ball to right for him. So he's 0 for 1 tonight. Saw those numbers for Gonzalez in 2010. But, injuries have kind of slowed him. Limited last year, a couple of injuries, slow breaking ball there.
I think a sharp slider is a better pitch against Gonzalez than a slow curveball. That sharp slider going down and away.
Earlier we were talking about Gonzalez and Tulowitzki deals. Carlos's contract runs through 2017. So 2 more seasons after this one. 2-2 now. Upstairs, full count.
A pretty good swing against Hector his first at bat.
And there's Troy Tulowitzki. That's a called strike 3. Fastball painted.
Boy, Hector's got the punch out working tonight. In this sequence, he threw some pitches in, and then a number of pitches away, and then paints the outside corner. If you're a hitter, you see these different pitches. They're all around the 4 quadrants of the strike zone and beyond the strike zone, and then you see a pitcher paint the corner. Very difficult to pull the trigger.
7 punch outs now, 1 shy of his season high of 8. That was back on April 21st against Oakland. Wilin Rosario, the DH, and a fly ball to center field leading off to second, so he's 0 for 1. Pretty good pitch, not called a strike.
Looked like you wanted to call that a strike.
Yeah. The old Flinchy McFlinch. Back up the middle, off the mound, and into center for a base hit. 2-out single.
Hector throwing some dirt after this baseball's right back up the middle. That's well hit right back up the middle. You're kind of glad it doesn't hit the body. You're just going to put your glove down there hoping it finds the baseball, but that's hit well right back up the middle. Yeah, that's one of those ones, if you're a pitcher, you don't even think about putting that foot out there. Just put the glove and hope it hits it.
Morneau with a swing and a miss. Rockies first baseman, a fly ball to center field in the second. This one ripped down the line, foul. Just pulled it foul. And it's an 0-2 count.
Yeah, we just saw CJ 3 times last night. He put his foot out there to try to knock down a baseball. Something that we saw him working in between starts and fielding his position. That's something you don't want to do. To put that foot out there and put yourself in a bad position.
One ball, 2 strikes. I know earlier in the game we touched on the cleaning up the 2-out hits and walks. Prior to tonight, Hector allowed a .280 batting average with 2 outs and an OPS of .818. This was lined to left field. That'll get down for back-to-back hits now. And while you look at the scoreboard and looks clean, right? He's throwing the ball well, 7 punch outs, 72 pitches now in the 4th inning. And this is the 3rd of the 4 innings that he's pitching, which he's allowed a 2-out hit. And all we're talking about is not getting on Hector about it, but if it's a guy that's going to work deep into games, right? You want to be a starter, work deep into games, and be in a position to pick up the W's. You got to have those 1, 2, 3 innings. And what is it though? Because with Hector, it is specifically 2-out hits.
I've always believed that even from every level, from high school up to the major leagues, it's that focus to get the 3rd out. And Hector, when you see him run out to the mound, the first batter, he's focused, and all of a sudden he gets 2 quick outs. It's as if he thinks the inning's over with at that point. And then he has to fight his way to get through this now. By the time this inning's over, it's going to be around 20 pitches per inning. He had 27 in the third. His stuff is too good to put himself in that position. To win games on a consistent basis in the major leagues, you have to be a guy that's going to pitch that 7th and 8th inning. You just don't get a lot of decisions when you go 5 or 6 innings. It's just too much stress on a bullpen.
This one looped into center field. It's a base hit. Being waved in at Rosario. Here comes a throw from Trout. It is not in time, and the Rockies have a 1-0 lead. Stubbs ends up at second base. Picks up his 5th RBI.
Stubbs now 3 for 6 in his career versus Hector. It's a good piece of hitting. He's a guy that will swing and miss quite a bit. That pitch got out of the strike zone. Strong throw, but Rosario's going to score, especially with 2 outs. Going to take that chance. In a 2-out rally once again. Now both runners in scoring position with the throw to home plate.
And what I was going to say prior to Stubbs' single is, for the most part this year, Hector has managed that situation, given up the knocks, but he hasn't let too many innings blow up on him.
It's a big batter right now, a guy that's been hot.
No doubt. Hundley swings through the first one. 0-1 count.
And for Bergman, who's throwing the ball very well. Coming out of the bullpen. Taking over for Lyles, who was hit with a line drive off his pitching hand by Albert Pujols. That's amazing, those numbers. 119 batting average with no outs.
This one's fouled off.
Then 280 with 2 outs.
And if you mix in the walks with 2 outs, you're talking about a .438 on base percentage against Hector with 2 outs. That's a big number. And listen, it's not just Hector. If you look at the staff overall, that 2-out batting average number is pretty high. And still through it all, the staff has done a terrific job in keeping things in check and not having too many big innings that put you out of a ball game. Hundley strikes out swinging, so Hector limits it to just a run, but it's 3 consecutive singles. Gives the Rockies a 1-0 lead as we head to the bottom of the 4th.
Cole Calhoun with C.J. Wilson on the mound makes another incredible diving play, flying through the air like Iron Man, his favorite Avenger. It's an unbelievable play. Falls in the heel of his glove, holds onto it. Another great play. The leap and the distance for Cole Calhoun, who just happens to be coming up to the plate.
Unbelievable timing. Top of the order for the Angels. Calhoun, Trout, and Pujols. 9 up, 9 down between Jordan Lyles and Christian Bergman. Lyles knocked out of the game on a liner that hit his pitching hand off the bat of Albert Pujols, and Bergman has faced 6. He's retired all 6. I think I said 21 pitches after the third inning. It's actually 22 pitches, 16 strikes. Cole, a ground out to second his first time up. Swings first pitch, lofts one out to left. Dickerson Broke back and now comes in a couple of steps. One away.
That's 2 swings on the first pitch for Cole tonight.
Bergman a starter throughout his career, so getting innings out of him shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, originally at UC Irvine pitched out of the bullpen, but then eventually became the starter. At St. Francis in La Cañada, he was a starter there too. Yeah, and he hits his spots very well, not overpowering, but he's had struggles against right-handed batters.
0-2 pitch, way outside. Trout lined out to Tulowitzki. The first inning, 0 for 1. Bergman's been in the big leagues all of this year so far. And Trout strikes out swinging, 2 outs. Second strikeout for Bergman. Folks, take part in the Junior Angels Care Kits donation program. This initiative will provide Junior Angels Kids Club kits to patients of Chalk Hospital during player visits throughout the season. For more info and to donate, just visit angels.com/Junior Angels. 2 up, 2 down. Albert Pujols at the plate. 0 for 1. That liner that hit Jordan Lyles. Ended up going as a 1-4-3 put out. 1-0. A long speed pitch. Moving up the count. Another off speed, and this one into the dugout. This is the liner that hit Lyles right off the back of the right hand. And it swelled up immediately.
That was a rocket right back up the middle. You can see his hand, that welt on his hand. Hopefully it turns out to be okay. Just a bruise.
3 straight changeups to Albert.
Bergman has quite a few family and friends at this game.
And you know what? Very composed. Easy to get amped up. As Albert flares, went out to shallow left field. That will not fall in. Troy Tulowitzki makes the catch, and the Angels go down in order. We'll head to the 5th with Colorado up 1-0.
Angels baseball is brought to you by Infinity, luxury cars that deliver inspired performance. And by Heffernan Insurance Brokers, insurance and financial services for you and your business. Visit hefins.com.
1-0 Colorado, top of the 5th inning. 9-1-2 for the Rocks, facing Hector Santiago. LeMahieu cuts through the changeup. Christian Bergman, 3 solid and perfect innings. Overall, the Rockies combined for 4 perfect innings against the Angels. Not a base runner as of yet. LeMahieu, a strikeout victim in the 3rd, one of 8 punch-outs for Hector Santiago. There's 2 balls and 1 strike. In case you're wondering, career high punch-outs for Hector is 10. As a member of the White Sox, October of 2012. This one out to center field, and Trout is there to make the catch.
That's a good read on that changeup off the bat for Mike Trout. Looked like initially off the bat that had a chance of falling in. Nice play by Trouty out in center. Good spot though for Hector. That was a changeup down. LeMahieu out in front, and Trout tracks it down.
Deckerson, the leadoff man tonight, 1 for 2, singled in the 3rd. Second game this year in which he is batted in the leadoff spot. Charlie Blackmon was there last night. A 2-0 count. Dickerson, an 8th round pick out of Meridian Community College in Mississippi.
Some good scouting.
Fouled back. 24 home runs last year for the Rockies.
It's not an easy thing to do. I mean, when you think about it, you project a player, you see him at certain levels. Will he be a consistent major league player?
The high school, that to me is the high school player is the real tough one.
Young fan with baseball. That's awesome. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, you wonder how you can react when you're facing a team, an opponent, where there's 40, 50,000 people at the game. Those big moments, how you react.
Two inside, full count. It's the 5th full count for Santiago. No walks yet. 8 strikeouts, 5 hits allowed. Jammed him. This one fouled off. Oh, nice catch. A one-handed grab.
Real nice play.
Now the payoff. Nickerson fouls it off.
Reaching up. One-handed play. I figured he's got a Mike Trout jersey on. You're going to make a nice play.
Yeah. By default.
You have no choice.
Nickerson pops it up. Ibar gets called off by Freeze. It doesn't stare at Freeze because Freeze is slightly larger.
Yeah, but he was back behind him just in case.
Yeah. Last night was priceless.
The glare. The Giavotella.
Yeah. All in good fun.
Yeah, these guys are getting along well. Good group here.
Tulowitzki fouls it off to the right. One ball, one strike on the Rockies shortstop, who's 0 for 2. A strikeout in the first and a pop up into third. Hitless so far in the series, 0 for 5. This one's down the left field line, and that's going to fall in for a 2-out hit. Pitch that was up.
Again, I say that so often. Flares in the outfield are always elevated pitches. Tulowitzki knows when to let that swing go, but also knows when to shorten up. Got his hands inside the baseball to be able to hit that ball right down the left field line.
So Arenado will bat with a man on and 2 down. Nice dig out of the dirt by Perez. Arenado 1 for 2 with a double and a strikeout.
Well, this club will really swing hard at a fastball, that's for sure. Very aggressive bunch of hitters. This Colorado Rocky team.
Ground ball toward the hole. Ibar to the backhand. Bobbles it for a second. Fires to first. And they don't get Arenado. It's going to be a tough play all the way anyway.
In the backhand in the outfield grass, and a different read from the dirt to the grass, and a long throw. Arenado beats it out for an infield hit.
Just going through the book real quick. With 2 outs tonight, the Rockies are 7 for 11.
Again, you look at the pitch count. 95. We're in the 5th inning.
Carlos Gonzalez 0 for 2 with a fly ball to right and a strikeout. Angels have action in their bullpen now. Pick off and tapped. Ibar was cutting in on Tulowitzki. Rockies score their run in the 4th inning. They lead at 1-0 here in the 5th. Back-to-back 2-out hits. Outside, 2-0. Mike Moore, first man up. Next pitch will be the 98th for Santiago. Here's a 2-0. Swing and a miss.
That's a good decision. Go with a slider. Gonzalez guessing, looking for a 2-0 fastball. Got a slider instead. 98 pitches. 27 in the 3rd, 22 in the 4th, and 21 so far here in the 5th. And again, 2 quick outs to start the inning.
Another good breaking ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Popped up left side. David Freese makes the catch, and the Rockies will strand 2 base runners. We will head to the bottom of the 5th. Freese, Ibar, and Giavotella. Angels down 1-0. transmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Los Angeles Angels. It's the bottom of the 5th inning. The Rockies leading the Angels by the score of 1-0. We welcome you to our broadcast booth. Let me tidy up here for a second. The Angels still looking for that first base runner. Jordan Lyles had a 1-2-3 first inning before he got knocked out, and Christian Bergman has been solid through 3.
His changeup has been great. His command of his fastball, excellent. His tempo, completely under control. Well, he's thrown 32 pitches, now 33, 25 of them strikes. Now, if you're sitting at home, you look and wonder how he's doing so well, because he's throwing strikes. That's the key, getting ahead, and then you can expand the strike zone.
And down goes Freese. Third strikeout for Bergman. 1 away.
It's not an easy thing, too, for a lineup when you're set and thinking in terms of facing Jordan Lyles the whole game. And he's knocked out in the first inning. Now all of a sudden you got to go through all those scouting reports and facing the guy your number of players have not faced before. And he's throwing strike after strike after strike. So you prepare for one pitcher, and then boom, right away you have to face another one that you haven't seen before. Not an easy thing to do, but there's going through the second time through, see if there's any adjustments made.
Eric Ibarm, fly ball to left his first time up. This one pulled to right. There's the Angels' first base runner, and that's going to go for extra bases. Eric on his way to second. It's a 1-out double. Eric's going to try to go to third, and base running blundered, and it goes from scoring position to an out, and hopefully didn't hurt himself. Looks like he's slow to get up.
Yeah, it looks like maybe his hand, the way Garrett Garcia made the signal, maybe the thumb. And he saw that baseball on the ground, but Tulowitzki quickly gets the throw over to third base in the slide, and the jam of that thumb and hand into the base.
The risk of the old head first dives. Yeah, that pinky kind of bent backwards. Chivitella backhanded by Arenado. Nice play by the Rockies third baseman. And just like that, the Angels' 5th is in the books. We'll head to the 6th inning. Angels still down 1-0.
Subaru Forester, or go to Subaru.com to learn more.
Rockies lead it 1-0 starting this 6th inning. Eric Ibar appears to be all right. It's that left pinky that he jammed into the base. Rick Smith, Mike Scioscia talked to him on the bench, and he's back out on the field. Rosario, Morneau, and Stubbs here in the 6th inning for the Rocks. That is a towering fly ball to left center field. Mike Trout moving over, calls off Joyce, and Mike will make the catch just shy of the track. 1 out. Now, it's a good thing that Eric is all right on the slide, but just a bad decision to even try to go to third base on that ball.
Look at that pinky as he's trying to get to the base, how it bends back. Tell you what, Eric Ibar is one of the toughest guys on this team. It's very difficult to get him out of the game. Talked to Mike Scioscia, Rick Smith right away, and he's determined he was going to stay in the game. But you're right, that's a decision. He thought that ball got away from Tulowitzki, but you got to stay there. You're already in scoring position for a club right now. At this point, is struggling to score runs tonight against Bergman.
And, you know, truth be told, Giovatello's done a nice job with men in scoring position this year.
He's been great.
You got a guy on the ropes. You just kind of basically left, you got him off the hook. Helped him out. Morneau gets into one out to right. Cole Calhoun moving back and just shy of the wall will make the catch.
Just enough out in front to keep that in the yard.
Daytime home run, though.
Colorado.
Oh, boy, yeah. New York, that's in the upper deck.
Yeah. We're getting that see ya call.
Yeah. And Morneau, of course, was the one that won the home run derby at Old Yankee Stadium. That was the derby, of course, that
Josh Hamilton.
Josh Hamilton got all the buzz because of the run that he went on, but it was Morneau that won that derby.
I still think if you ask people, everyone thought that Josh had won that.
Right.
It was just Morneau did it.
Drew Stubbs 1 for 2, had an RBI single in the 4th.
Tied him up good with that fastball. And see if he can get through this inning here. 2 outs, 2 relatively quick outs for Hector.
And it looks like he will. Cole Calhoun moving to his right is there and squeezes it. And a 1-2-3 inning for Hector Santiago. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th. Still 1-0 Rocks. Sitting bottom third of the order, Joyce, Perez, and Krause. Hector Santiago, 8 strikeouts, 10 fly ball outs, and no ground outs.
That's the thing, amazing. No ground ball outs recorded. 8 punch outs, 10 fly ball outs.
But a game really in which the way he was throwing the ball, every one of the hits he allowed was with 2 outs. He gets through a couple of those innings, 1, 2, 3. He's still pitching in this ball game. Now you got to bank on the Angels scoring here in the 6th inning to take you off the hook.
Exactly. That's why.
Or to give you a lead and maybe take a W.
That's why I've said so often, you have to, if you want to win a lot of games or get a lot of decisions in the major leagues, you've got to be out there in that 7th and 8th inning. A lot of pitches thrown for Hector. Solid game, though. But still, he wants to be there late in the game. Mike Scioscia gave him that opportunity to be able to finish off the 6th. He got 3 relatively quick outs.
Matt Joyce popped out to the third baseman Arenado his first time up.
And Bergman, because of his good changeup, it's a little sneaky fastball.
Because of the base running mistake by Eric Aybar, Rockies pitchers have faced the minimum 15 batters. Called strike 3. Down goes Joyce. 1 out.
Paints a changeup down and away.
He caught the zone too. Joyce doesn't like it, but I'm not sure why he's upset with Phil Cuzzi.
Perfect spot. Huntley did a nice job of keeping that glove right there in the strike zone.
A sign perhaps of a hitter that continues to struggle. A little frustrated.
34 strikes of the 42 pitches thrown for Bergman.
Off the end of the bat by Carlos Perez. Tulowitzki moving out. 2 outs.
Behind the key for this game. Some runners in scoring position, get on base, bring them home, bring it on home. But they haven't had many. It's 1 runner so far this game. Credit Bergman coming in for Lyles, who was knocked out after a line drive through the pitching hand by Albert Pujols to finish off the first. But a strike throwing machine, 43 pitches. Might have to bring it on home yourself with a swing of the bat right here from Mark Krause.
Krause struck out looking at a third.
That was 3 pitches. Krause, a good athlete at Ohio University. A very good football player back in high school. Wide receiver and kicker up for the football team.
27 years of age, a 2nd-round pick by the Diamondbacks in 2009. Limited time in the big leagues. 52 games with the Astros in 03, 67 games last year. Skies this one out to shallow right. Tulowitzki moving over and will make the catch. That is a pop-up to the shortstop in shallow right field. We will head to the 7th, 1-0 Colorado.
Lee Miley shutout, 6 2/3 shutout ball against Oakland for Boston, and Cardinals seek first ever series win versus the Tribe. They have never won a series against Cleveland. And with tonight, the way Corey Kluber threw the ball, they're not going to win this one. What? He had that punch-out work. He had no-hit stuff into the 7th inning. Fastball run up there, 93-94, 18 punch-outs for Corey Kluber as he wins his first game of the season. Now 1-5, no walks, no runs, 1 hit allowed, but 18 punch-outs.
I know we were talking about this before the game because we were watching Corey Kluber. See Santiago departing, but 113 pitches in 8 innings with 18 strikeouts.
I'm running him out there to try to break the all-time record.
At least one bat and go batter to batter, right?
Yep.
If he punches out one guy, give him another batter, see if he gets a chance for the all-time record.
Yes. 18 punch-outs, you got to work it.
Right? Mike Moore takes over here. Nick Hundley takes outside. And I say that because Kluber hasn't pitched a whole lot this year. Being knocked out of games. ERA was what, over 5?
Yep.
As you mentioned, winless prior to tonight.
And no walks with those 18 strikeouts.
Ended up being a one-hitter. Clean single by Peralta up the middle. Moore falls behind on Hundley at 2 balls and no strikes. The Rockies catcher 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. 2-1. Mike pitching in his 16th game. 1-0 record of 4.50 ERA. 12 innings, 7 hits, 9 strikeouts, and 2 walks. Three and 1. Chopper toward third. Freese has it. That's a fair ball. Gets rid of it quickly. Got him. Nice play by David Freese.
Well, that baseball was by him. Not only had to go a long way to make that play, but an extremely long throw from Freese. Playing off the base. And this one right down the line. And then quickly gets up. Perfect throw over to Albert Pujols for the first ground ball out recorded in this game for the Angels. Good range. And a quick throw and release by Freese.
DJ LeMahieu, the batter. He will look at a strike. 0 for 2 tonight with a strikeout and a fly ball to center. Rockies with a run on 7 hits. They've stranded 6. The Angels, no runs, 1 hit. Nobody left on base. 1 ball, 1 strike. Combination of Lyles and Bergman. They face the minimum 18 batters. Will never foul 1 and 2, and that's because Ibar had a 1-out double in the 5th inning. Saw a baseball get away from LeMahieu, trickled to Tulowitzki. Eric tried to go to third, was thrown out for the 2nd out.
The Rockies team ERA coming into this game 5.48, which is the worst in the National League, worst in baseball as far as ERA.
Swing and a miss. 2 outs. Follow the Angels all season long with MLB.com at bat. #1 app for live baseball. At bat up to the moment. At any moment with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcast, statcast, and more. Get MLB.com at bat. Your smartphone or tablet.
Today.
Hoy. Today. Or mañana on the off day. Halos will travel to Baltimore tomorrow. Long road trip. American League East. Baltimore for 3, Toronto for 4, and then Boston for 3.
Why it's so important to be able to pull this one out tonight, get the offense going, because you're going to need that offense on that trip. Especially in those ballparks, hitters' ballparks. All 3.
1 ball, 1 strike on Dickerson. The leadoff man is 1 for 3. The Angels will need some late inning heroics as they had last night in the 8th inning. Came from behind, down 2-0, tied it at 2, and then scored 3 in the 8th. Broken bat flare to left. That'll fall in for a 2-out single. So now all 8 hits for Colorado with 2 outs. Troy Tulowitzki will come to the plate. Now this is a good Rockies offensive ball club. 3rd in the National League in average. 2nd in slugging. They are up there hacking, that's for sure.
They are doubles machines. They had a lot of doubles. But their approach with 2 outs has been very, very good tonight.
Tulowitzki 1 for 3 with a single in the 5th. Short lead for Dickerson at first. The Angels at the bottom of the 7th have the top of their order coming up. Calhoun, Trout, and Pujols. It'll be the 2nd time through the order against Bergman. And that is off the end of the bat out toward left center field. That's going to fall in for a base hit. Dickerson on his way to 3rd. And Joyce just kind of wheeled around and fired that back into the infield. Tulowitzki stays at first base. So 1st and 3rd with 2 outs.
And that stress with 2 outs. And also when you're on the mound and your team is struggling to score runs, you have to try to, the mindset is you're trying to be so fine because you don't want to give up any more runs and put the team behind further.
Rockies 1 for 4 tonight with men in scoring position. On the season, Arenado has hit .429 with men in scoring position. 2 hits tonight with a double and a single. Houston came back and defeated the Giants 4-3. Texas ended up defeating Kansas City 5-2. San Diego currently leading Seattle 2-1. That game at the bottom of the 5th inning. Oakland was shut out earlier this afternoon against the Red Sox 2-0. Oakland 1-11 in day games this year. Check swing foul.
That's surprising how many day games they do play in normal circumstances, especially at home.
That's one of those things, though, that it's broken down more so than actually needs to be. It's not as if ace hitters are struggling to see the baseball because the sun is out.
No,
it just is what it is.
It's more the different personnel they have this year as compared to last year. So many different players. They started off pretty strong, but now have struggled.
Two balls and 2 strikes with 2 on. Oakland now 13-23 on the season. 2-2 pitch. Changeup got him looking down. Goes Arenado in his 7th inning stretch time here at the Big A. Top of the order coming up. Halos down 1-0. Top of the order coming up. Christian Bergman has thrown 46 pitches, 36 strikes. Has allowed 1 hit. He has struck out 4 and walked nobody. As Cole Calhoun will lead things off. As a matter of fact, in the last 2 innings, I'll even just give you the breakdowns. Pitches per inning for Bergman: 9, 13, 10, 6, and 8.
That's solid. And I wonder right now with Cole, he's made 2 outs on 2 pitches. Wonder if he takes one here or if he gets a fastball to drive, swing at it.
First fastball misses up and away. Cole 0 for 2 with a ground down and a fly ball to left. Pulls this one, and Morneau can't handle it. It goes by him, and it's a leadoff single for Cole Calhoun.
Now all of a sudden, when you're a pitcher, a young pitcher, you're pitching in front of family and friends here, give up a base hit, the potential tying run at first. But this ball is hit well, and this gets by Morneau. But now you have to face Mike Trout in this spot. Tried to backhand that, but then a tough hop and over the glove. In the right field for a base hit for Cole.
Trout pulls it, and Arenado with a backhanded stab, fires to second, and they get Cole for the first out. Wonder if Cole spiked LeMahieu, but what a play by Nolan Arenado.
Well, we've seen some unbelievable plays at third base this entire homestand. Valbuena made unbelievable plays for the Astros. And the Gold Glove winner last couple of seasons. Look how quick he got rid of that baseball in the slide in the second by Cole Calhoun to try to prevent a double play from being turned. LeMahieu trying to stretch, and then the slide didn't look like the cleat got the ankle area of LeMahieu. But what a play by Arenado again. On the back end, how quick the transfer and throw to second. See that slide right at the knee, actually.
Two-time Gold Glove Award winner. LeMahieu, a Gold Glove Award winner last year himself. Pujols 0 for 2. Popped out his last time up. This one ripped down the left field line, hooking, and it is fair, just inside the foul line. It goes into the seats, so it goes a double, and Trout will have to stop at third.
That was an absolute rocket.
Albert with his 4th double of the season. The Angels with a couple of men in scoring position.
Boy, just squared that one up and right down the line. It was hit so hard it could not hook foul. But unfortunately enough for the Angels, if that ball hits that low wall, it's going to go around for a while. Will definitely score Mike Trout with his speed. Just inside the chalk. We talk about searing in baseball hard. That was what Albert did. He's hit 2 baseballs extremely hard tonight.
David Freese due up here. And we'll see if they're going to go to the bullpen. They will. Tom Runnels, the acting manager tonight, with Walt Weiss having to go to the hospital prior to the game with a stomach ailment. And Bergman was solid through the first several innings. He departs here, and he does so with a couple of men on, with the Rockies up 1-0. Mission to save you money. Log on to mercuryinsurance.com today to get a fast, free quote and see how much you could save. And by Hyundai, the Memorial Day sales event is going on now at your Hyundai dealer. Visit buyhyundai.com today. 1-0 Colorado here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Mike Trout standing at third, Pujols at second with the double. And it'll be David Freese coming to the plate once Scott Oberg finishes up his warm-up pitches, pitching in his 12th game this year, 1-1 record, and a 7.27 ERA. 8 2/3 innings, 13 hits, 10 strikeouts, and 1 walk. Christian Bergman, 50 pitches, 5 1/3, 4 strikeouts, but 2 guys on base are his.
Oberg's got a good power fastball, 92, 96, slider, curveball, changeup, infield, in. Against Freese, looking for a fastball up that he can hit deep in the air.
First one's down and in. Freese 0 for 2, a bouncer back to the mound and a strikeout. Over the 25-year-old 15th round pick in 2012 by the Rockies out of UConn. Here's the 1-0. Inside again. 2 balls, no strikes. Suffered his first major league loss Sunday against the Dodgers. That was at Colorado. Three infielders on the left side. Morneau, the lone man, on the right. 2-0. Downstairs, 3 balls and no strikes. Eric Ibar on deck.
I still believe right now Freese will get the green light. Look for a fastball and do some damage.
Takes ball 4. They're loaded up.
All 4 pitches, almost exact same spot. Certainly off the plate in.
So it's Ibar coming up. He's 1 for 2, doubled in the 5th inning and was thrown out trying to take the extra base. It extends his hitting streak to 5 games now. Looks like Steve Foster, the pitching coach, out and pay a quick visit. The Angels this year as a team 9 for 21 with the bases loaded. That is a .429 batting average. Got to hope for now is that Eric doesn't expand the strike zone. You got a guy who just threw 4 out of the zone.
That's what I was just going to say. You got to be patient. You look for, especially the first pitch, because you're in the strong position as a hitter with the bases loaded. A pitcher wants to make sure he throws that first pitch strike, so there's a chance he could groove in the middle of the plate. If it's a borderline pitch, don't go after it.
Eric 1 for 3 this year with the bases loaded. Trout, the tying run, standing at third base. Pujols the go-ahead run at second, and Freese over at first base. 1-0 Colorado in the bottom of the 7th. Last night it was the bottom of the 8th. Let's see if tonight it's the bottom of the 7th for the Angels. First one on the way. Eric lines one out toward center field. That'll get down for a base hit. Trout will score. Here comes Albert Pujols to the plate, and Albert is out. Easily gunned down by the center fielder, Drew Stubbs, and the game is tied at 1.
Wants to know if Hundley gave him a clear path to the plate, though.
And there was a misstep on Gary DiSarcina's part over at third base. It looked like he slipped or something. He lost his helmet for a second as Trout had to hang up to see if Stubbs was going to catch this ball.
Social waiting to see if Dino Ebel, if there was any path at all. I mean, that's a tough one because he has no choice but to reach out and make that play.
Yeah, the ball taking Hundley up the line.
Well, you got the right guy coming up here now. It's a perfect throw by Stubbs, who has a very good throwing arm. He charged it well. Pujols read it well, but a perfect throw from Stubbs.
So 2 outs, runners at first and second. A 1-1 game now.
What a throw. The Pujols was almost right on top of Trout going around, and It really didn't give DiSarcina much of a chance to stop Pujols when Stubbs charged it so well.
I don't think it would have mattered. I think Albert had made up his mind.
He was going.
He was going. Freeze with a big lead at second. Breaking ball to Giavitello. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Johnny's 0 for 2 with 2 groundouts.
Well, we talked about him in the open. This is the time of the game where he's been so good this season. Late in games, the game is tied, for an opportunity to be able to give the team a lead with a swing of the bat for Johnny Giavitello.
375 batting average with men in scoring position. And he lifts this one into right field. Toward the foul line goes Carlos Gonzalez, and he will make the catch. The Angels leave 2 men on, but they do tie things up. We head to the 8th. It's a 1-1 game.
Angels and the Rockies tied at 1, top 8. I'm Patrick O'Neill. Join us after the game for Angels Live. Jose Mota will join us. We'll hear from Mike Scioscia, Alex Curry getting all the interviews. Now, Johnny Giavitello unable to come through right then, but I talked to him before this game about who was his biggest influence growing up in New Orleans. Of course, he said it was his father, but his best friend's dad, Neil Camarda, who was an academic All-American at Tulane, taught him and his best buddy how to play the game like the college style of baseball when they were 9 or 10. He brings a ton of enthusiasm to the game each and every night, Victor and Mark, and maybe he'll get another chance to come through later tonight.
Well, under normal circumstance, he may have indeed had a sac fly. The bases would have been loaded. He squared that up pretty good, but he's been so clutch late in games. 6 game-winning hits this season, which ties Justin Upton for second in Major League Baseball in that category. Nelson Cruz leads it so far this year.
Joe Smith takes over here in the 8th inning of a 1-1 game, pitching his 16th ball game, 0-1 record, a 3.21 ERA. Joe did not pitch last night. He did pitch on Sunday, however, went 1 inning and all zeros for him. Facing Gonzalez, Rosario, and Morneau here in the 8th. Mike Moore pitched a scoreless 7th inning, gave up two out hits, but then struck out Arenado looking to finish off the 7th. Gonzalez will take a strike. Rockies right fielder 0 for 3, a fly ball to right, struck out looking in the 4th, and a pop-up to David Freese in the 5th.
9th game for Joe Smith versus the Rockies. Good ERA, 2.25 in his career versus Colorado.
Breaking ball is in there, 0-2. Fouled off into the seats.
Joe just felt like he didn't get that fastball quite in far enough when he's trying to throw that two-seamer. He wants to start it off the plate and then bring it in the inside corner. That started on the corner and ran out over the plate.
Downstairs. Ball and 2 strikes. Slider, back door, gets Gonzalez. That pitch looked to be a little bit off the play, but Phil Cuzzy rings it up. One down.
Earlier in the sequence, he threw one of those backdoor sliders that caught the corner. This one just off the corner, but a nice job by Perez. Again, quiet with the frame. Don't do a lot of movement. It gives an umpire a better look and thinking that that ball is on the corner.
1 out for Willeen Rosario, the DH. It's 11th strikeout for Angels pitchers tonight. Moore had 2. Santiago had 8. Now Smith 1. This was chopper toward the middle. Giavotella has it. 2 down.
That's a good thing about Joe Smith. He knew exactly where Giavotella was playing behind him. Now if he leaps up, that ball goes off his glove, it's a different play. Look back, decided right away to think about going after it, then let it go because Giavotella was going to have a much easier play and gets a second out.
Justin Morneau, 1 for 3 with a single in the 4th. Boy, nasty slider down and in. Looking ahead to the Angels half of the 8th inning. It's Joyce, Perez, and Kraus due up. Lefty, righty, lefty. Boone Logan getting ready. Slider on the corner. 0-2. One-two pitch, and that just missed. Same exact pitch that Gonzalez got rung up on, and it was off the plate.
They tried to bring it around that outside part of the plate. Nice job again by Perez framing that. Now a lot of times you'll see Joe go back that little 2-seamer, run it down and away. As a hitter, you're going to be more apt to commit to it.
And he does. Down goes Morneau. A 1-2-3 inning for Joe Smith. Way to the bottom of the 8th, tied at 1.
game from the get-go. Line drive, Jordan Lyles, a line drive right off his pitching hand in the first inning. Albert Pujols had to leave the game. Hector Santiago threw the ball well, but Stubbs gets a base hit scoring Rosario. They only run at that point of the game. Rockies up 1-0 with the bases loaded. Eric Ibar with a single up the middle. Drew Stubbs, who had the RBI single for Colorado, with a perfect throw to the plate to get Pujols to keep it 1-1. That's where we're at here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Colin Cowgill will pinch hit for Matt Joyce to lead off this 8th inning as Boone Logan, the lefty, is in for Colorado. 13th game, 0-1 record at a 5.91 ERA for the Texas native. Been around a while.
Still pretty good fastball, 90-94 slider. There was a lot of sliders.
Daniel Descalso takes over at first base for Morneau. Cowgill bouncing the first one foul. Matt Joyce finishes the game going 0 for 2. 191 average for Cowgill. Colin has struggled against both righties and lefties this year. 200 batting average against left-handers, but a better option with Matt Joyce, or instead of Matt Joyce, I should say. One and two.
Between innings, Joe Smith and Mike Butcher talking, having fun. He's finally getting a better feel. This the other day, he told me about a week ago, even though he had that tough little stretch, he said he's finally healthy. Wasn't real healthy in spring training, feeling real good at this point. Made a lot of quality pitches that last inning to finish off the Rockies.
Slider missing down and in. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Boone Logan, drafted by the White Sox in the 20th round back in 2002 out of Temple College in Texas. 3 seasons for the White Sox, 1 with Atlanta, a couple of seasons with the Yankees, 4 to be exact. And the last 2 with Colorado. 2-2 now. That's out towards center field, chasing Stubbs back. It's playable. 1 down.
Here are Friday's starting pitchers brought to you by Chevron. Good pitching matchup, Weaver versus Chen. And we've seen Chen over the years against the Angels has pitched very, very well. Good ERA right now, 2.52, and Weaver coming off his best start of the year, in which he went a complete game shutout. Dominant performance last game out for Weaver. So really concentrating on that long tossing to be able to get that arm extended to hit that spots again like he did last game. Fastball in and away.
Boy, that stare right there, I thought he was still looking for the person who threw the water bottle.
Still have not found that person.
Carlos Perez 0 for 2. Fly ball to right and a pop up to short. TJ Crone's come out to the on deck circle. Pinch hitting for Mark Krause. This one pulled foul in front of Johnny Giavitello, looked like.
Well, he might take a bite out of that baseball coming that way. That would hit pretty hard, though. Avoid it.
That'd be an awesome trick.
He is Johnny the Entertainer.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Logan's a big guy, 6'5", 3/4 arm angle. Two now. Perez off the end of the bat. Flares went out towards center field. LeMahieu going out, and he can't get there. They'll fall in for a single.
If you have a pinch runner right now for Perez. just enough, and maybe going back. He's going back, waiting to be called off. But Stubbs was playing real deep.
Well, C.J. Cron will pinch hit here for Kraus. Cron hitless in his last 17 at-bats.
Trying to throw that glove out there to catch it. Saw the game the other day. Kyle Seager did that for Seattle, going down the left field line. Just threw his glove out there and he caught an unbelievable catch on a pop-up just the other day.
Just never know.
You never know. Throw the glove up there. It may find the baseball.
Cron hitting 193 with a home run and 6 RBIs. He'll take down low for ball 1. Kraus finishes the night going 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a pop-up. Tied at 1 here, the bottom of the 8th. The Angels tying it up in the 7th. RBI single by Eric Ibar. Outside.
Good count to do some damage if you're C.J. Cron. Although Logan throws a lot of sliders. He may throw a slider here, 2-0. If he throws a fastball, jump it.
Sorry, Mark. He pinch hit last night in the 8th inning and gave it a ride out to the warning track at center. Stayed in the yard. 2-0. Let it fly. Got it off the end of the bat. It splintered his bat. Have to pick up some new lumber.
One of those bats you can use to play stickball back in the schoolyards back east. You try to crush that one and half the bat gone.
Perez over at first base, a 1-out single for him. 2-1. And this one down the right field line, slicing toward the seats. Again off the end of the bat.
Off the plate. Especially when you're in a hitter's count, you look for a zone to drive it. Don't chase something out of the strike zone. Chase that one. That a baseball is so off the outside corner. Now probably have to deal with that slider down and in.
Full count. Calhoun on deck, then Trout if we get there. Base hit for Carlos, the 5th hit for the Angels tonight. Oh, Logan almost throws it away. Nice play by Descalso.
Just in the game. Taking over for Morneau at first.
Three-two. Cron goes down swinging on the off-speed pitch. 2 outs.
A backdoor slider. CJ still was struggling to keep his head in there and pulling off in the baseball again. That hip flying open. Back leg dragging through.
Cole 1 for 3 with a single in the 7th. Up and in. He swung the bat well against left-handed pitching this year. The tune of a .379 batting average. Off speed.
Nickerson playing extremely shallow out in left field. And you're throwing sliders away. You can hit one over his head left field if you're Cole Calhoun.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Houston Street getting ready for the Angels. He will pitch the ninth. The Angels extending Houston for 2 more seasons. Contract announced earlier today. Also a team option for a 3rd year. One, 2. A little bit wider with the slider.
There was a lot of them. Talked about that early. As soon as he came in the game, a lot of sliders from Logan. 20 pitches thrown in this inning.
Two balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs. Perez takes off and Cole fouls it back. Not a bad idea. Get him started. Perez gets thrown out. So be it. Cole leads off the ninth.
Yeah, give him a fresh count next inning. He gets in scoring position. Cole's been swinging the bat very well and scoring from second base.
Colorado has John Axford getting ready in their pen. So if Cole somehow gets on, figure it'll be Axford to face Trout. Time is called. In the ninth, it's the bottom third of the order for Colorado. That's who Street will face. Stubbs, Hundley, LeMahieu. Two-two. Outside, full count. Perez wasn't on the move that time, and now he will be with a full count.
Now with a gap where he can potentially score now, be able to go now on a 3-2 count with 2 outs. You would think if you're Logan, you're throwing a fastball with Trout on deck, although more than likely they'll go down to the bullpen if Cole does get on base.
Yet another tight ball game for the Angels. Perez takes off the 3-2 and Cole goes down swinging. And the Angels are done here in the 8th. We head to the 9th. Still tied at 1. DraftKings players to watch. Update, Mark Gubza, go to town.
Robinson Cano 1 for 3 in this game. Although he had great career numbers against James Shields at 1 base hit, a single. Johnny Giavitello 0 for 3. Surprising, especially late in the game. He's always so good. Talked about him at the start of the game. His numbers, especially late in the game, over 500 in tight games late for Giavitello.
Houston Street on the mound through 14 pitches last night, picking up his 11th save. This is game number 15 for the right-hander. As we mentioned, signed the extension today. Something that he and the Angels have been working on through spring training and in the early parts of the season. And it's good to know that he'll be anchoring the Angels' pen for the next couple of seasons.
Been a very consistent closer his entire career.
Colin Cowgill, who pinch hit for Matt Joyce, stays in the game, and he is out at left field. Charlie Blackmon will lead things off here. He will pinch hit for Drew Stubbs. Stubbs ends up going 1 for 3 with an RBI single. Blackmon will stay in the game and be out in center. 292 average for Blackmon. 5 home runs, 14 runs batted in. No pitch hitting opportunities this year as of yet, until now. Street did not face him last night. 1 ball, no strikes. Blackmon in last night's game ended up going 0 for 3 with a sacrifice bunt. Good speed. Frey's playing at the cut of the grass at third base just in case. This one's fouled back to the left.
That's the basic coming off the bench and swinging as hard as you can. Almost fell down on that swing.
Is that a bad thing?
No. 1-0 count. Take a shot.
Did you ever yell at a hitter to swing harder?
You know me. I might have said that once or twice.
Might have slipped. Slipped out. Popped up on the third base side, headed into the seats. 1-2.
Oh, kick saved by Freeze. A little soccer.
David will back up now with a 2-strike count.
Change up the pitch sequence for Street.
Oh, down goes Blackmon. Chase the off-speed pitch. 1 down.
It was an excellent changeup. A lot of punch-outs in this game for Angel pitchers against Colorado.
This is the 13th of the ball game.
Great location. Changeup.
Nick Hundley 0 for 3. Middle of a 13-game hitting streak. 2 strikeouts and a ground out to third. That was a nice play by Freeze to the backhand as Hundley looks at a strike. Outside. Former battery mates with the San Diego Padres.
Always a difficult thing as a pitcher when you're facing a guy that caught you in your career, because you're thinking along with him. He's thinking the same thing as a hitter. You're looking for a spot, remembering what counts. You would throw certain pitches.
That'll leave it up to count at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Houston, an all-star in his first season with the Padres, 2012. 2-2 pitch. Ground ball to short. 2 down. Just the 3rd ground ball out for the Rockies.
Well, last year in a game that Hector started August 10th against the Red Sox last year, not one ground ball out recorded in that game. Hector went 6 innings and 3 relievers from that point.
LeMahieu 0 for 3 tonight. Couple of strikeouts and a fly ball to center.
Get LeMahieu out here and have Mike Trout have a walk-off home run on his hat giveaway night. Be perfect.
Yeah, it would. Even better would be someone out in the stands out there catch that home run in that hat.
Oh, that would be remarkable.
There's a lot of stuff going on in that hat. Bouncer back to the mound. Street has it. We'll head to the bottom of the 9th. Trout, Pujols, Freeze coming up for the Halos in a 1-1 game. To lead things off for the Angels, Albert Pujols after him, and then David Freese. Those are the scheduled 3 batters here as they face the veteran right-hander John Axford. Comes into the ball game. 7th game this year. No record of a 1.80 ERA. Has 3 saves under his belt. And as far as the Angels roster is concerned, he is not allowed a hit to any of the guys that he has faced.
So you're saying he's due. He's got a good fastball. 93 to 97 slider curveball.
32-year-old in his first season with the Rockies, last year with the Pirates. Actually 2 teams with Cleveland and Pittsburgh. Ended up going 2-4 with a 3.95 ERA. Had a total of 10 saves, all of those with the Indians. But he had the one-time 46 save season as a member of the Milwaukee Brewers back in 2011. Trout's first ever plate appearance against John Axford. Mike 0 for 3, a line out, a strikeout, and a fielder's choice, and a run scored. League leader in runs scored. Now 27 runs scored on the season. 400th of his career. 3 infielders on the left side. Breaking ball is down low.
It's a pretty good breaking ball. He missed by a whole lot. 12-6 break on that one.
Downstairs, 95 miles per hour, 2-0. The Yankees free agent signing in 2006. Originally at the Canisius College as well as University of Notre Dame. Made a name for himself, as we mentioned, as a member of the Brewers organization. Got to the big leagues for the first time in 2009. Two-0 pitch. Trout hits one out toward right center field. Gonzalez coming in and over. Makes the catch. There's out number one. So Pujols will step to the plate. 1 for 3. Albert doubled in the 7th. And then was thrown out trying to score on the Ibar single. Hindsight being 20/20, you would have taken Albert just stopping at third base and have a bases loaded situation for Johnny Giavotella in a 1-1 game, but didn't play out that way.
When Albert squared up 2 baseballs, a line drive that knocked Lyles out in the first inning off his pitching hand, right back up the middle.
Outside, Albert in his career 0 for 7 against Axford.
All of his pitches so far are staying away, using the big part of the yard.
Breaking ball is in there. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pujols mentioned he had a double to 7th, 4th of the year, 565th of his career, 24th all-time list. Pudge Rodriguez up next. 1-1 now. Another breaking ball. Freeze on deck. David 0 for 6 in his career against Axford. Here comes the 2-1. Lets it fly, fouls it off to the right. Evens up the count at 2-2. 5 hits tonight for the Angels. 3 of which came in the 7th.
I was waiting to see if Albert can square one up here.
Full count.
I wonder if he goes right back with another breaking ball or does he challenge Pujols with a fastball. David Freese on deck. Let me go through a new set of signs. A lot of times we see a pitcher shake off there. They're going with a sign. He's just making sure you think as a hitter he's going with a breaking ball.
Payoff on the way. Breaking ball hammered down the line, foul. Hung that one.
See, most times when you step off when you go through a new series, you're always thinking breaking ball. And Albert was ready for that breaking ball, just out in front just enough to pull it foul.
So if your first thought was to go to breaking ball and he pulls it foul, do you stay with that same thought?
Yeah, I might go up fastball upstairs now.
3-2 again. Fastball chopped over to Arenado. Third baseman has it. 2 down. So David Freese now up at the plate. He's 0 for 2. Walked in the 7th. As a matter of fact, the only base on balls issued in this game. As his walk loaded the bases for Eric Ibar. He delivered that single to tie things up at 1. Very good velocity for Axford at 95. Free and easy too.
And staying away. He may come inside now.
1 ball, 1 strike. That's hit out to right field. Hit pretty well. Gonzalez is moving over, however, and he'll make the catch. Adam played perfectly. As the Angels go down in order here the 9th. We will head to the 10th. That's right, free baseball. Tied at 1.
The 10th. Let's take a look at the game summary. Tight game from the get-go. Albert Pujols with 2 outs. Bottom of the first, line drive. Well, Jordan Lyles, pitching hand, had to leave. Christian Bergman came in and did a nice job for Colorado. Base hit by Stubbs. Scoring Rosario with the, at that point, the only run of the game. Then Eric Ibar with the bases loaded. Base hit into center field. Stubbs charges the baseball, throws out Albert Pujols after Trout tied it up to 1-1, and Albert thrown out at the plate, and that's where we're at right now here in the top of the 10th.
Salas pitching in his 15th game, 0-1 record, a 4.15 ERA. Threw 1 pitch in Sunday's game, so he's well rested. Facing the top of the order, Dickerson, Tulowitzki, and Arenado. Houston Street pitched the 1-2-3 ninth. 1 strikeout. Joe Smith had himself a 1-2-3 eighth. Corey Dickerson 2 for 4 with a couple of singles. Fernando misses way outside. Challenger with a fastball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Lefties have hit 261 against Fernando, 231. That's what right-handers have hit so far.
Back-to-back fastballs, 91. That one at 90 with some good movement. Perfect time to throw that great changeup that he has now to run down and away off the plate.
Good to see 90-91 for Salas. Living in the upper 80s most of the season. Went back to the fastball, foul tipped into the mid.
That one at 92. That's what we saw from Fernando a lot last year when he was very valuable out of the bullpen. That consistent velocity, 90-91, and that one at 92 with movement. Another punch out for a Halo pitcher tonight.
Each guy has at least one. Hector had 8 in his start. Lasted 6 innings. Change up that was up.
Yeah, it was upstairs. Scary spot. Tulowitzki with 2 hits in this game. Batting average over 300, 306.
Oh, 2 count. Oh, 2 on the way. And that is out toward left center field. Hit well. Trout moving back near the wall. Leaps up. He got it. Mike Trout does it again. 2 outs.
The man can cover some ground. You knew he had a good beat on the baseball. Tulowitzki crushed that baseball. 0-2 pitch. But Trout read it well. Gets back to the wall. And that athleticism jumps up. Great play by Trout. It's all about getting back to the wall, that feel for the wall, and then the leap, the timing, and an outstanding play by Trout.
So 2 outs, bases clear for Nolan Arenado. 2 for 4 game for him. Nine in a row retired by Angels pitchers. Going back to the single. Or from the single. Tulowitzki hitting the 7th. Halos in the bottom of the 10th have Ibar, Giavotella, and Calgill due up. This one's popped up to shallow center field. Eric Ibar going out, as is Giavotella. And Eric makes the catch. A 1-2-3 inning for Fernando Salas, but the reigning American League MVP adding another one to the highlight reel.
Yeah, he got back to the wall once again. Robs another would-be home run from the MVP defending tonight.
Ibar, Giavotella, and Calgill, the scheduled 3 batters here in the 10th for the Angels. New pitcher on the mound for the Colorado Rockies. It is left-hander Christian Friedrich taking over for John Axford, who went 1 inning and retired all 3 guys. Friedrich pitching his 15th game, a 4.30 ERA, former first-round pick, 25th overall selection in 2008 out of Eastern Kentucky University.
And Friedrich fastball 88 to 91, slider curve change.
$16 hits in 14 2/3 innings for Friedrich. 10 strikeouts and 4 walks. Exclusively out of the bullpen. Ibar spins around to hit from the right side. Eric 2 for 3 with a double and a single. Curveball missing upstairs.
The right-handed batters against Friedrich, 343 batting average.
Eric has swung the bat better from the right side this year. On the left, 296 average from this side of the plate. So he pulls this one foul. He opens up the count of 1 ball, 1 strike. Dickerson very shallow in left field. Big alley out in left center field. Blackman shading Eric the opposite way. Just a little bit shy of the plate. And it's 2-1.
Trying to make a perfect pitch with his changeup. Well short of the plate.
Colorado with a run on 9 hits. They've stranded 8. The Angels a run on 5 hits. Have left 3 on. 2-1 now. And that is a broken bat single to left to start off the bottom of the 10th. A 3-hit game for Eric Ibar.
And now it's time for In the Driver's Seat. Brought to you by Kia with Johnny Giavotella coming to the plate. His first career walk-off hit on May the 6th during his homestand against Seattle. 6th game-winning RBI this year, tied for 2nd in the majors. Now it's a tough decision here for Mike Scioscia. A lot of times you think square around the bump, but Johnny Giavotella has been very good as far as especially hitting that ball to the right side of the infield if you want to put a hit and run on potentially.
Ibar with a big lead at first. Giavotella bunts one beautifully on the first base side. Friedrich off the mound, throws on to Descalso, and there's the first down. The sacrifice advances a potential winning run into scoring position.
Well done by Giavotella. I think Mike Scioscia went by the book, and I think that's what you have to do with a struggling offense. Put yourself in position now for a base hit, can win the game. Giavotella did a nice job at his deading in this baseball, making the pitcher field this one. He's upstairs too. Not easy to get that bunt down, but did a solid job of advancing Ibar into scoring position.
Colin Cowgill will step in. 0 for 1. Pitch hit in the 8th inning. Hit a fly ball to center. Halos tonight 1 for 2 with men in scoring position. Good take on a slow breaking ball.
Good arm out in right field. A lot of room out in left center field.
Yeah, Blackman a little bit deeper than I thought he would be with the winning run standing at second base. Dickerson shallow and left. Good lead for Ibar at second. 1-0 pitch. Cowgill takes on the off speed. It's a strike. 1-1.
Mike Trout kept the game tied. Robin Tulowitzki of a potential go-ahead home run.
Time was called at the last minute.
That's pretty late to call that.
Yeah, especially when you've got a pitcher looking back at second.
He's basically beginning his motion. And Mayhew very close to second base and allowing Ibar to get a real big secondary lead.
1-1 pitch. Down low. 2 balls and a strike. Been pretty much a bullpen game for the Rockies. Jordan Lyles was knocked out by Albert Pujols in that liner to hit his pitching hand in the first inning. 2-1 now. Fouled it back. Big rip by Colin. Christian Bergman went 5 1/3, allowed a run on 3 hits, struck out 4. Oberg went 2/3 of an inning. Boone Logan 1, Axford 1, and now Friedrich here in the 10th.
And Calgill, all you got to do is shorten up your swing right now. A base hit wins the game. Just think of contact. Getting a pitch out over the plate and getting that big base hit. Get your second career walk-off hit.
2-2. Calgill chases. Hundley applies the tag. 2 outs. So Ibar remains at second. And here comes Carlos Perez.
Turnover, changeup in the dirt. It's a swing and miss.
Carlos a 1-for-3 game. Takes inside. Big hole on the right side of the infield. Descalso off the line at first, and LeMahieu, as you see him shaded toward the middle. .93-mile-per-hour fastball. A former starting pitcher used out of the pen now. Ibar led off this 10th inning with a base hit to left, sacrificed to second. 1-1 pitch. Perez fouls it off to the right.
Walk-off home run in his debut back on May 5th. The Carlos Perez got a hanging slider, hits it out. What a debut for Carlos Perez. Base hit his first at bat, walks off with a home run in his debut.
Time was called again.
And going through his motion, he's about ready to deliver the baseball. Yeah. I know he's taking a while looking back at second.
I was just going to say that it's so tough for a home plate umpire in that situation because Friedrich's not looking in toward home plate. 1-2 pitch. Perez just got a piece of it to keep the at-bat alive. Down low. Nice play by Hundley.
Good take, too, by Perez. He is very good on anything elevated, whether it's a breaking ball or a fastball. He's got that short, compact, level swing. Anything thigh high to belt high.
Just the second extra inning game for the Angels this season. 0-1. Winning run at second base. 2-2 pitch. Perez fouls this one back just below us.
Pitch was up and out of the strike zone, but still fouled out, went straight back. Can't believe he's going to throw him a changeup now and try to bounce one.
Hundley's going to go on and talk over the strategy here. Still playing in Seattle. Padres leading the Mariners 4-1. That game's in the ninth. Houston won. Texas won. Oakland lost. One here in the 10th. And yet another 2-2 pitch. And he got him with the off-speed pitch. It's exactly what you said. They complete the strikeout. We will play on. We head to the 11th. 9-1. This time it's left-hander Cesar Ramos. Ramos pitching his 14th game. 1-0 record, a 1.04 ERA. Last pitched in Thursday's game. And that was against the Houston Astros. Threw a total of 5 pitches in that one. And of course, he's a guy that can give Mike a couple of innings if needed here. Gonzalez, Rosario, and Descalso are the scheduled 3 batters for the Colorado Rockies here in the 11th. Ramos becomes the 5th reliever used by Soch. Hector Santiago got the start tonight, lasted 6 innings, gave up a run on 7 hits, had 8 strikeouts and no walks. Mike Moore in a scoreless inning. Same goes for Smith, Street, Salas, and now it's the left-hander, former dirtbag at Long Beach State, Cesar Ramos.
Quite a few of them in this game.
Yeah, that's right. George Weaver, Troy Tulowitzki.
Some serious talent going through that school.
Gonzalez 0 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts and 2 fly ball outs. Showing bunt. Bunts it foul. Albert playing deep at first base.
Didn't move either. Said, hey, if you want to try that, that's okay. Trusted Ramos would get off the mound and field that bunt. Especially with Gonzalez's normal power he has. Stay back. It's all right.
Caesar, you got it.
Yep.
Go get him.
That conversation, you stay back, I got that line covered.
Broken bat, soft liner over the head of Johnny Giavotella. It's a leadoff single for the Rockies here to start the 11th. First hit for Gonzalez in this quick 2-game series.
Just over the head of Giavotella. Out in front, strong enough to get that into the outfield for a leadoff single.
There's Rosario, the DH, 1 for 4. Single back in the 4th inning, also scored the run for Colorado. And he will look at a strike. Rosario, catcher by Trey, can place him first, serving as a DH here in Interleague. native of the Dominican Republic, just 26 years of age. 28 home runs in 2012 for the Rockies. Followed that up with 21 home run season in 2013. Big swing and a miss. 0-2.
That's a great changeup. Good hitter being aggressive, trying to expand the strike zone against him with a very good changeup.
$18 strikeouts, 4 walks for the Angels pen over the last 13 1/3. Breaking ball in the dirt. There's nothing Perez can do. Ramos bounced that thing about 2 feet in front of the plate, so the wild pitch puts the man in scoring position.
Take away a potential ground ball double play. Overthrown breaking ball. Well out in front of the plate. There's nothing you can do as a catcher. That spin when it's a breaking ball in the dirt. Hits his body, but it works its way away from him in a wild pitch.
You see how that ball redirected just as soon as it hit the dirt.
Fastball, you have a chance because of different rotation of the seams of the baseball, but a breaking ball, no, there's no chance on that one that far out in front of the plate.
1-2 to Rosario. This is it. Chopper to third. Should keep Gonzalez at second base, and it does. 1 out. Nice play by Freese.
That's an important out, too. That ground ball to that side of the infield is going to force Gonzalez to stay at second base. If it's hit to the right side, he's going to easily advance. Nice play. That's a tough little in-between hop for Freese coming in on that baseball. Check back Gonzalez and then throws over the first to get the important first out.
Daniel Descalzo, first plate appearance. Took over defensively in the 8th inning for Justin Morneau at first base. .091 average this year. And he will look at a strike. 22nd game, just 37 plate appearances.
Ramos has to make sure he makes Gonzalez stop at second. He's trying to get a walking lead and Freese well off the base.
Pulled foul. No balls, 2 strikes.
Mark Ibar going to come in and have a quick conversation with Ramos just to make sure that Gonzalez doesn't get a walking lead. Sometimes even just step off the pitching rubber makes that runner aware that you're thinking about a potential pickoff.
No balls, 2 strikes. In the dirt, and Gonzalez will advance to third. So 2 wild pitches. And the go-ahead run 90 feet away now.
Going to force the infield in now. Twice ahead of the count, twice overthrown breaking ball in the dirt.
Infield in. Descalzo now with a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Product of UC Davis. 3rd round pick by the Cardinals in 07. Inside. Evens up the count at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Ramos has hit 2 batters this year.
Boy, as a hitter right now, you got to be thinking he's having a tough time with his breaking ball. I'm just gearing in on a fastball. If Ramos can throw his good slider and give it a chance of being in the strike zone, he can get him out here.
2-2 now. And that's pulled foul.
See, that's a product of making sure you don't bounce that one.
Hanger.
Yep.
Charlie Blackmon, the center fielder, is on deck of the left-handed batter. Full count. Overly dependent on the breaking ball here with a guy that's under 100 for the batting average this year and not a whole lot of plate appearances.
Yeah, I think if you can throw a fastball down and away right now, paint the outside corner. Now, an elevated fastball, he can slap into the outfield. A fastball down and away when you're struggling as a hitter is a perfect pitch.
Here's the 3-2. Fouls this one back. Because now it seems we've seen quite a few of those breaking balls.
Yeah, he's just tracking now. He's just trying to flick it into left field. That tells you right now he is susceptible to a good fastball down and away.
Calgill playing shallow and left. Trout at normal depth at center, as is Calhoun at right. Rockies with a run in the fourth to take a 1-0 lead. The Angels tied it in the seventh. Another 3-2. And that's down the line foul, hooking into the seats.
Another breaking ball also.
Ten hits for Colorado, 6 for the Angels. 3-2 again. Little flare out to shallow center field. Long run for Mike Trout. Comes racing in. He'll make the catch. Gonzalez tags. Here comes a throw from Trout. And he's safe at the plate. What a throw by Trout. Everybody wearing an Angels uniform wants Mike Scioscia to come out. But a heck of a play by Mike, not only to make the catch, but to straighten up and throw a bullet strike to the plate.
Boy, it almost looked like Trout had bobbled it initially into the glove. Well, he has control, and then it gets up quickly on a perfect throw to the plate, and to see if the tag is applied.
Oh,
yes,
he's got him. Yes, he did.
He got him on that heel of his foot before the foot touched the plate. That part of it looked like it was good as far as the tag and the catch at the same time, but that tag right on the heel of the foot before the foot touches the plate. And here, a great angle, the perfect throw, the tag right there on the foot as the foot's touching the plate. But is there enough evidence to overrule the call on the plate? The call being safe. This angle looks like he has the leg before the foot is touching home plate.
Well, he did everything imaginable to catch the ball first and make the throw. The headsets are off. Out at the plate. What a double play by Mike Trout and Carlos Perez.
Boy, he saved the game the inning before robbing a home run. Saved the game right here with a perfect throw to the plate. He's worked hard on building his arm strength. What a throw by Trout. catch and throw by Mike Trout. You can barely see him in the picture. He's playing deep in center, has to track this baseball, coming in full speed, gather himself, and then a perfect strike and great tag by Carlos Perez at the plate. Originally ruled safe, then overturned because of that great tag by Carlos Perez on the heel before Gonzalez's foot touches the plate. What an outstanding athletic play by Trout. That is not easy, considered how far he was playing coming in, and then gathering himself and making a perfect throw to the plate.
That's what MVPs do.
I agree.
9-1-2 for the Halos.
Great play by Perez, too. That quick tag, he gave that path to the plate.
Crone shoots one to the alley in right center field. Lead-off base hit. Blackman cuts it off and will keep CJ at first base. Good piece of hitting by Crone, who came in as a pinch hitter in the 8th inning and struck out. He leads off the 11th with a single.
That's his swing and a pinch runner right now.
Taylor Featherston takes over as the pinch hitter as Cole Calhoun will come to the plate.
That has to feel good for CJ Crone. That's the swing we saw all spring in Tempe. That line drive, quiet approach, going the other way, smoked that ball to right center field.
Cole tonight 1 for 4, a single in the 7th.
One of those times that you square around a bunt, lefty versus lefty, but you do have Trout on deck. If the bunt is successful, open base, Trout probably walked.
Cole in the 8th inning struck out against Boone Logan. Left-handed. Friedrich pitching his 2nd inning of relief. Gave up a leadoff single to start the 10th as well. The Angels stranded that base runner in scoring position.
Big lead right there for Featherston.
Taylor with good speed. Time is called at the last minute.
Again. It's the 3rd time with Friedrich on the mound. Going through his delivery once again. That's the 3rd time in the middle of his delivery a time has been called.
Well, it hasn't rattled Friedrich at all. He's remained composed through it. Arenado in on the grass at 3rd. Cole takes downstairs. 2 balls and no strikes. Mike Trout on deck. Two-0 pitch. Cole rips one out to right. Gonzalez moving back. It's over his head and off the wall. Heading to 3rd is Featherston. He'll stop right there. A big, long single for Cole Calhoun. And the winning run standing at 3rd with the MVP coming to the plate.
That was well played by Gonzalez out in right field. He knew he wasn't going to be able to get back on that baseball. It was crushed by Calhoun. Played the carom extremely well. Got that in quickly. I mean, this ball is absolutely tattooed by Calhoun. They play well by Gonzalez to carom and gets it in quickly with that great throwing arm.
They're going to walk Trout to load the bases. It'll be up to Albert. And how many times have we talked about this type of situation with the way that Mike Trout has swung the bat this year and the way Albert has swung the bat this year. Although tonight, Albert has squared up a couple of baseballs.
Yes, he has, and he's done it throughout his career, especially with the bases loaded. Trout has saved the game twice tonight. See if Albert Pujols can win the game tonight. You know what? That 2nd pitch in this intentional walk got real close to the outside corner. Trout almost thought about pulling the trigger.
There's ball 4 to Mike. 5th intentional walk issued. to Trout this season. So nobody out, bases loaded, winning run standing at third. And here Taylor Featherston at third base. Get that big secondary lead in case Friedrich drops a breaking ball in the dirt and it gets by Humlin.
And if you're Albert, who's been in these situations so often in his career, just square one up. Look for a pitch you can drive in the air. Well, the outfield was playing pretty deep. They're walking in now, extremely deep.
Here's the first one, Albert. Way upstairs, overthrown fastball. Nice play by Humlin.
That'll be bringing a conversation. They may go with a fifth infielder now. Yeah, they're going to go with another infielder.
Something that probably should have been planned out prior to that pitch.
I was surprised how deep the outfielders were playing. Dickerson was playing pretty shallow in left, but Blackman was playing very deep in center. And Gonzalez, the same thing in right. I know he's got a strong throwing arm, but a fly ball, as far as he was, Featherston's going to be able to score. Looks like he may take over at first base now.
Descalso, an infielder by trade, middle infielder. Tom Runnels is the bench coach running the game tonight. Walt Weiss was taken to the hospital before the game today with stomach ailments. Turns out he ended up having an emergency appendectomy.
Hopefully he's okay.
Well, we wish him the best. So 3 infielders on the left side, 2 on the right. Dickerson in left center, Blackman in right center field, both very shallow. 1-0 pitch. Albert chasing the high fastball. Evens up the count. And 1 ball, 1 strike.
2 fastballs upstairs. The first way high. That one just a little bit lower. If they go back upstairs with a fastball again, Albert will be able to cover a breaking ball downstairs.
1-1. Albert hooks one down the left field line. That one is just foul.
Well, he covered that pitch downstairs.
Right size, wrong shape. 1-2.
Boy, downstairs, and he was ready for that one. He was able to keep that low one down the line. His last at bat, that double, or 2 at bats ago, I should say, right down by the line.
Time is called. Taylor Featherston, the pinch runner, standing at third base. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Albert fouls it back.
Just trying to stay alive in his at bat. And an all-speed pitch after 3 fastballs. 2 upstairs, 1 down and in. And you got to be ready if you're Featherston right now for that breaking ball in the dirt.
Crone led off the inning with a single. Featherston took over as the pinch runner. Calhoun a single off the wall. Trout intentionally walked to load the bases. 1-2 again. Albert pulls this one foul behind the Angels dugout.
I think Albert's ready for a fastball down and in. Or does Friedrich try to go upstairs now with a fastball? First 2 pitches he did. Now he stayed downstairs with 2 fastballs and a breaking ball.
The pitch. Skied out to left. Featherston has good speed. You got to try it. Dickerson underneath it. He'll make the catch. Here comes Featherston to the plate. Drive home safely. Halos win it 2-1. Light that baby up.